Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be putting all my bushcraft tools in my bushcraft wilderness toolkit to the test. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that piece of big branch there, and I'm going to make me a bushcrafted spoon with silky saw, my survival BK2 knife, Opinel number 7, work gloves, and some of the tools that are in my um bushcraft toolkit. I got a spooning knife. I have a couple of pocket knives from Rough Riders, uh, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a spoon out of that branch. So I'm gonna do something I've never done before, which is I'm gonna do I guess stop motion or speed up the filming so you can see me in action, and it won't take a long time. Anyway, also I am going to probably use uh, the Leatherman too. Whatever tool that I need, that's all of these tools is part of my wilderness bushcraft kit. So basically, what I'm doing is putting all of them to the test to see if it can perform a simple task of turning a big branch into something that I want to carve into. Now, why I'm doing this at home in my garage is because, folks, before you go out there into the wilderness, um, put your things to the test before you go out there, especially if you have never used those things before out ever before at home or out and about. Always put it to the test before you go out there and put yourself in a situation where you may be relying on them for your life. All right, so here we go. Let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna stop right there. I know I can go on and on until I refine and finish this spoon, but for time's sake on this video, I'm gonna stop right there. It is gonna be a continuing work. I just want to recap what I did on this video, just in case I went way too fast on this time lapse and you're not able to catch what I did. First of all, what I did was use the BK2 to baton split. Whoop, sorry folks. Baton split a piece of oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one of the most important parts. I used the silky saw to cut a large branch in half to get a branch this size, and then I used one half to baton the other half with the BK2, which created a split like this. And then I drew with a pencil the design of the spoon on the white side of the inside of this thick branch. And I proceeded to strip the bark off the branch, I mean the big piece of wood, with the Rough Ryder saw belly Whittler carbon steel knife. Okay, let me tell you something, folks. I think I paid almost $17 or $18, $19. I'm not sure. It was under $20. Let me tell you, this knife worked magically. I loved it. The only complaint I have is that my pinky got caught, started pressing against the other blades that were folded in. And as you can see, it kind of rubbed my pinky raw. But I would just adjust my grip to have my pinky fall out a little bit to avoid the pain. I still had a good grip. And when you're stripping large pieces of wood, you want a firm grip like this. You don't want to do this. You're using a lot of force, and you're trying to remove a lot of wood. You want to do this so that when you're going straight down, you don't make a tight fist like this and accidentally close the blade on you, blade on your index finger. So you want to hold the knife very firm like this and just go straight down on the piece of wood to remove large piece of wood. And this did that perfectly. Then I proceeded to go and, of course, use my spooning. It's the first time I have ever used this seriously to make anything. I have practiced a little bit on a piece of wood just to see if it'll cut, and it got a little. I had to admit that it wasn't easy at first, but once I started cutting towards the right flow of the grain, which was basically for some reason, when I was spooning this way, it was a lot easier than me trying to spoon this way. So most of the spooning that I did was sideways like this. And once I got the groove of that, it became pretty easy. The trick of the carving is not to try to do everything all at once. Chisel your way in. Take your time. Be patient. If you have trouble removing a large piece, whittle it away. Take your time, little by little, and you let your knife do the work. Don't use a lot of force. Okay. Then I went back to carving with this again, and again, no problems. Removing pieces of wood, no problems. Whittling. The edge held up fine all the way up until I stopped. And to be mindful of everything that you're watching here, all of the blades that I am showing you, they are not factory sharpened. They were sharpened and honed by me. So I'm not an expert sharpener or honer. I'm not very good at it, even fact. But I did work on these blades. I stropped them. I sharpened them a little bit, honed them a little bit, and stropped them a lot. So all of these blades are being used pretty much little conditioned before I use them. Now, towards the middle of the carving, I wanted to see how the Opinel performed, and I did do some whittling with it. And as soon as I switched up and started using this blade, I don't know if it was because I started using a different blade, but it seemed to really cut better at first. And then I realized, okay, it's slowing down on me a little bit. But overall, I believe this Opinel number 7, I'm sorry if I called it number 8, but Opinel number 7, carbon steel, in my opinion, did carve or whittle the wood a little better than the Rough Ryder. But not to take anything away from the Rough Ryder did a fine, decent job. For the money between this knife and the Rough Ryder, they're almost close, neck and neck. With that said, I would say this was slightly easier. Also because, of course, the wooden handle that extend all the way to my pinky without anything protruding from the handle that would rub me raw here, as you can see on my pinky. Now that's my fault. I could have worn workman's glove or some kind of glove to help that from happening with my hand. As you saw in the video, I wore a leather glove in my left hand because that's the hand that was holding the object while I was cutting. So I didn't want to accidentally cut my hand that was holding, the object that I was carving. So in reality, I should wear protection on this thumb, this index finger, and perhaps or wear a glove on this hand as well. But for a first timer, I think I did pretty good. Here is the actual product that I've been working on. As you can see, it's far from being finished, but like I said, I wanted to stop here and just show you how far I've gotten into this without making this video super long. This is going to be a continued work. I am going to continue to work on this until I feel as though it's refined. In a survival situation or outdoor situation where you need a spoon really bad, something to scoop up broth or to stir something, and you wanted something better than just a flat stick or some stick, you probably be okay with just coming up to this point right here to use this as a utensil for cooking utensil or eating. I have seen Western movies where cowboys and primitive people have used a far less looking utensil than this to eat with. So I'm pretty sure that this would more than be sufficient to scoop up some beans. Oh, mom. I tell you what, that feels pretty good. It's a pretty decent deep bowl in there to hold enough broth and food. Like I said, I have a long ways to go, but it would not be awkward at all to eat with this. It would be 10 times better than eating with a flat stick or something that you made without a help of a blade or a spooning knife. It's possible you can dig a bowl with just a straight knife, but of course it's not going to do a good as job as actual spooning knife. So that's why I made sure that I have a spooning knife in my kit. And so this is a testament to the Rough Ryder brand. When you buy something from their line that says it's built for that purpose, I have to say that I can rely on Rough Ryder to produce or manufacture a tool that is sufficient for the price to be out there to do something like this or help you do something like this. And like I said, there are Rough Ryder knives that you collect because they're pretty and nice, but then there's Rough Ryder knives that you collect or buy because you want to do some practical work with it. But all knives that you buy, cheap or expensive, if you hone it right, sharpen it right, or even just sharpen it the best you can, will work for you. Okay? So I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, this was all done in-house as a practice to put the Rough Ryder knife to test. Number one, and number two, I wanted to make sure that I had some practice in doing some of this kind of stuff before I go out there in the real world, in the wilderness, and make a fool of myself. If I cut a thumb off or a finger, I want to do it here first and learn my mistakes. Okay, I don't want to be in the middle of the woods and learn my mistakes out there, because if I cut my thumb deeply, I know I have a trauma kit and a first aid kit, but if I was to cut my finger really bad and I didn't have that, or a way to get to the hospital quick, I would have a nasty gash in my hand. I would bleed a lot. it would just leave a huge scar. You know, here at least if I cut my finger off, all I have to do is get somebody to take me to the hospital or call an ambulance, and they'll come right to the house, and you know, I don't lose a lot of blood and this and that. So practicing at home in your backyard or whatever is not silly, folks. You know, a lot of people will judge you and say, well, you bought all this stuff and you're not really going out into the woods. But you know what? If you're a beginner like me, if you're a novice like me, please take your equipment, get familiar with your stuff, practice with it at home, in your backyard, in your garage. In fact, here is all of the whittling that I did. That's all over the floor in here. Okay, so, oh boy, oh, sorry about that. I dropped you guys. But anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.